Well, for those of you who have a Nintendo Switch 2 like me, and I'm so glad that I actually purchased my Nintendo Switch last year in October. You all know the story about my Nintendo Switch 2 purchase. How uh, originally I was going to purchase PlayStation 5 Pro, but then this wonderful girl at GameStop, she told me, "No, are you sure you want to purchase PS5 Pro?" And I'm so glad that she persuaded me not to, because I would have regretted PS5 Pro. There's no question about it. So, Nintendo Switch 2 has so many games right now. The library between original Nintendo Switch OLED, which I do have, uh, and now with the Nintendo Switch 2 powerful Tegra 2 NVIDIA hardware, when you look at all of the expansion pack games that they have, classic games, when you look at their library, just go to Nintendo eShop and you will be amazed the amount of games that they have on Nintendo Switch 2. But we're here to talk about Resident Evil. Listen, if you love Resident Evil, oh my God, mark your calendars next week, February 27th. Just mark your calendars. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I know you're probably thinking, I don't know, it's a $90. Trust me. I will never be the first person to say, ooh, pay $90 for a game. But trust me, this $90, it's worth the price of the admission. This generation pack, trust me, it's worth it. If you love Resident Evil, like I do, and if you love playing Resident Evil games, especially on a Nintendo Switch 2, where you can take Nintendo Switch 2 with you everywhere you go. That's the beauty about Nintendo Switch 2. Let's say you're traveling, you're in a hotel, right? Well, hotel room, they have a TV, they have a HDMI under, behind the wall, whatever. You can just plug in the HDMI, change the input, and play the Nintendo Switch 2 on your TV, on the hotel TV, or you can just not even use the hotel TV. Maybe you can't reach on, maybe it's fixed or something, fine. But even if you can't plug it into the TV in a hotel room, uh, guess what? Guess what? You can use your Nintendo Switch to a handheld and play it on a handheld, put on the earbuds, headphones, earbuds, right? And you're in a hotel room and you're playing the Resident Evil games on your handheld Nintendo Switch 2. How cool is that, bro? You're in a terminal at the airport waiting, right? Put in your earbuds, wait for the terminal, and start playing, Resident Evil. Um, so this is Resident Evil Generation Pack, and believe me, $90, because the game itself of Resident Evil Requiem, it's 70. So for extra $20, dude, look what you're getting. Not only are you getting this game, which is Resident Evil Requiem, which obviously in on itself it's like worth $70, right? It's the next generation Resident Evil. It'll be a huge success, a huge hit. And not only are you going to own a success, huge hit, which is Resident Evil 9 Requiem for $70, but at the same time, you're also getting a gold edition of Resident Evil Village, which is $50 in on itself. So think about it. If you were to pay individually for these games, think about it. 70 plus 50, that's 120. And then 120 plus 40, you're looking at 160. This is all $160. So $90 are 160. You are saving $70, bro, on this package right here. So this generation pack, you're saving $70. That's a pretty good deal. So when I say that this is worth it, $90, you better believe it. And you get to have all of these games, dude. Check it out. If you never played any of these, I would not be in a hurry to play the Requiem first. I would like first play Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Gold Edition and enjoy that. and then play Resident Evil 8 Gold Edition. Now, couple of things I want to clarify. For those of you who are not familiar with Resident Evil, these two, Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8, they are sequel. Okay, this is like two sequels. All right. So Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, it's a the Village. I'm sorry, the Village is the sequel to the Resident Evil 7. Okay, so you need to play Resident Evil 7 first before you play the Village. So this is the kind of order you have to play this in. Play the 7 first, and when you finish the 7, and you see what happens at the end, then you jump into the Village and continue playing it. So these two games are connected, right? So Resident Evil 7 is the prequel to Resident Evil Village. So Resident Evil Village is the sequel. So this is a prequel, this is a sequel. So first play 7 and then play 8. Now, Resident Evil 9 has nothing to do with 7 and 8. Yes, it's in the same universe. It's part of the franchise, of course. But it's its own separate story with Leon and this other girl who is working for FBI, but her mother also worked for the FBI. But that's as much as I know. Leon looks pretty badass. You know, he looks ripped, looks strong. This will be a huge success. I mean, Resident Evil 9, I don't even have to think about it. I already know it's 10 out of 10 masterpiece. It will be an amazing Capcom. It's going to have a great week next week. They're going to be making truckload of money. They're already having a great year with Resident Evil 9 and all these other Resident Evil games coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Plus, they got Pragmata on April. I think it's April 24th with Pragmata. So, you know, plus Street Fighter 6, it's already a bestseller on Nintendo Switch 2. So Capcom is doing great. Maybe in the future we might see Dragon's Dogma 3, which I hope that they learn from the mistakes on Dragon's Dogma 2, and they can look at the mistakes they made with Dragon's Dogma 2 and try to implement some better ideas on the gameplay on the Dragon's Dogma 3. But Capcom's looking great, you know. So this is honestly best time now to purchase Nintendo Switch 2. If you love Resident Evil, let me tell you, I can't think of a better place to start your Resident Evil journey than Nintendo Switch 2. And like I said, you can take it with you, whether you're in a hotel room, even if you can't access their HDMI TV, you can still play it on, handheld, way, which is the handheld screen with 7-inch, whatever, something like that, 7-inch, 7.8-inch handheld screen. You can still play it. Take it with you. Take the entire experience with you, no matter where you go. That's what I love about Nintendo Switch 2. No matter where you go, you take the experience with you. And of course, if you are staying somewhere where they have the access to TV and HDMI, you can plug it in, you know. So, Resident Evil Generation Pack, honestly, this is like the best purchase you can buy. Not only are you getting Resident Evil 9 Requiem, but you're also getting Resident Evil 7 Gold Edition with everything included. And it's taking the full advantage of these Joy-Cons, taking the full advantage of Tegra 2 NVIDIA GPU hardware. It's taking the full advantage. Same thing with the Resident Evil 8 Gold Edition. You got everything included, all the DLCs, taking the full advantage of NVIDIA Tegra 2 GPU hardware. And of course, Resident Evil 9 taking the full advantage of NVIDIA Tegra 2 GPU hardware. So this is honestly the best deal right now. And I would purchase Nintendo Switch 2 just for Resident Evil. So now, not only are you getting all of this included on February 27th, but if you really are like a Nintendo, if you're like Resident Evil, like a hardcore fan, well, man, let's just kind of go through it. Look at this. Everything's included. Resident Evil 4 included. Resident Evil 6 included. Resident Evil 5 included. The original Resident Evil included. Resident Evil Revelation 2 included. Resident Evil Revelation 1 included. Resident Evil 3 Cloud included. Resident Evil 2 Cloud included. But I think Resident Evil 2 and 3 will also be coming to Nintendo Switch 2, taking full advantage of the hardware. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure it's coming. So you got plenty of Resident Evil like games here. You got all of them, dude. I think you got all of them. You got the entire collection of Resident Evil games, dude. Everything is there. So if you love Resident Evil, you got everything here, man. It's all here. It's all here, man. You're good to go. So, oh yeah, and Resident Evil Zero. They also have Resident Evil Zero, which was a GameCube game, Resident Evil Zero. And they also got the remake of Resident Evil as well. So, dude, they got you covered with everything. Like I said, I want to end the video by saying this. If you are a Resident Evil hardcore fan, Nintendo Switch 2. Are you kidding me, dude? Nintendo Switch 2 right now, it's obviously your best bet, your best console. Not only do you get all of the Resident Evil games, but you also get all these other Nintendo exclusives. You get Street Fighter 6. You get everything, dude, included, man. Yeah, I believe they have Dragon's Dogma in there as well. They got Monster Hunter in there, Street Fighter. I believe Virtua Fighter 5, it's coming to Nintendo Switch 2. You got Dragon Quest, you got Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Dude, you've got everything, man. So, Nintendo Switch 2, in my opinion right now, it's one of the hottest consoles. The only console right now that has any relevance. Don't waste your money on PS5 Pro, let me tell you, man. I would have made a great mistake if I went with the PS5 Pro. There's no differences. People told me there's really no differences that you're gonna notice. And PS5 Slim is more than enough. But ask yourself a question: what do you have on PS5 right now? Exactly. So, I don't think I have to sell you Nintendo. I don't have to be like some sort of a salesman for the Nintendo, because I think Nintendo sells itself. It's such a famous console. It's been selling out like 10 million units last year. I'm sure it's 20 million units by now. It wouldn't be surprised if it goes up to 30 million units. This is the hottest selling console right now, and they're just making tons of money. And now with this Resident Evil coming out and all these other games coming out, are you kidding me, dude? With Final Fantasy 7 remake and Pragmata and the first Light James Bond and all these Bethesda Xbox games coming out, including Indiana Jones and Fallout, and yes, Oblivion and Starfield. It's all coming, man. So I wouldn't be surprised if we reach like a 40 million units selling this console. Nintendo's got a huge success, and on top of that, they just recently let me exit this. They just recently included Virtual Boy. So the Virtual Boy, it's included. Now you can enjoy Virtual Boy. You do have to buy a hardware. I just want to clarify this. You do have to buy a hardware, which is $100. Virtual Boy, basically, it's like a 3D 360 camera view. You get to watch things in 3D, and it's kind of cool to play those Nintendo Virtual Boy games, the classic Virtual Boy games in 3D. I think it's a great addition to already a well-established, successful Nintendo Switch 2. So, Virtual Boy is included. Wii games are coming to Nintendo expansion pack as well. Can't wait to use these Joy-Cons with the Wii games because I used to play a lot of Wii games back in the days. Also, VU games also are coming as well. So you got tons of stuff. We already have GameCube. GameCube is already here. So, like I said, there's plenty to like about Nintendo Switch 2. Do I even have to bother to make a video review? Like I said, this sells itself. Like this console sells itself. It's so popular. Not to mention the entire library of Nintendo Switch 1 backward compatible games. Actually, all of them are backward compatible. So all of your Nintendo Switch 1 games are backward compatible with Nintendo Switch 2. All right. I think I said enough. I think I already convinced you. Yeah. Mr. 4K got me convinced. Yeah. Nintendo Switch 2. Yep. Like I said, I don't have to sell this console. This console sells itself, man. All right. It's not like I even have to try to put on my salesman suit and to try too hard to sell you on this. This sells itself. There you have it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you supporting me. I appreciate all of you subscribing. Thank you so much. I will see you later on. I will be streaming on my regular. I just want to put this out there. People ask me about my streaming schedule. On the weekdays, it's 7 o'clock, usually between 7 to midnight. Sometimes if I'm tired, I might do it on midnight. But usually on the weekdays, it's 7 o'clock, like 7 p.m. till midnight. Sometimes I go longer, maybe 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, depending on how I feel, if I'm not tired. But usually it's from 7 till midnight, 5 hours. That's on the weekdays. On a Friday, it's a little bit different. On a Friday, I go a little bit longer because it's Friday, it's the weekend, so I can do like from 7 till like 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning. I can go the distance, go a little bit longer. But on the weekends, Saturday, Sunday, throughout the day and throughout the night, yeah, I do much longer streams. So that's basically my schedule in between those streams that I'm streaming only on YouTube. I don't do Twitch, I just do YouTube. I also upload these types of videos that you see either Xbox Game Pass or Nintendo Switch 2. And of course, Chapter 3. I heard people want me to make a Chapter 3 for Ponies Living in a Fantasy World, Chapter 3. We'll see how the Chapter 2 does. It's like the John Wick, movies. And we'll see if Chapter 2 does well, then there might be a Chapter 3. So, we'll see. All right, thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys on the next video, and I'll see you on the live streams. Make sure you join me on the live streams. Thank you for watching.